Well, good afternoon. Forgive us for starting a little bit later today. I wanted to respect a phone call that we just had with the President of the United States, the Vice President, Dr. Fauci, and others, with governors all across this country as they began to socialize the guidelines that will be made public later this evening at 6 o'clock East Coast time related to guidelines for a phased reopening of the American economy. Without getting into any details, the booklet is being sent out in real time to states large and small across this country. We haven't had time to review the booklet and the guidelines in detail, but I do want to extend, just in broad strokes, appreciation for what I heard from the President as it relates to recognizing the differentiation that exists and persists in terms of conditions in counties, not just in states across this nation, and a willingness to recognize and extend that very directly to governors of the need for a phased approach, a thoughtful and judicious approach based upon conditions and based upon the need to act with the kind of specificity at a state-by-state level that is required. Today, I want to talk about those essential workers that are not unemployed, that are every single day waking up and putting on their uniforms of sorts to take care of you and me. And that's the folks on the front lines of our food delivery system. I want to talk about work we're doing to support that sector and to support specifically the food chain in the state of California. When I speak of the food sector, when I think in terms of the food chain, I think about the people that grow our food, the people that pick our food, the people that pack our food, deliver our food, cook, serve, and sell our food. That's the food chain in the state of California, broadly defined. And that sector, by definition, is essential to our livelihoods and our capacity to meet just basic needs through this pandemic. And that sector in particular has been hard hit by strife, by challenges in terms of health and safety, by concerns around what is happening within food processing plants. So today, just an hour or so ago, I signed a statewide executive order impacting the entire food chain and entire sector that will allow for 2 weeks of supplemental paid sick leave for workers that have been contracted COVID-19, been exposed to it, or have been exposed to isolation or quarantine orders by local health officials, federal and or state health officials. I hope this will significantly address some of the anxiety our farm workers have, anxiety our fast food workers have, anxiety around the delivery of our food and those workers have about their own health. We don't want you going to work if you're sick. And we want to make sure that you know that if you're sick, it's okay to acknowledge it, and it's okay to let your employer know and still know that you're going to get a supplemental paycheck for a minimum of 2 weeks. And the grocery lines are also the front lines in this pandemic. The essential needs that all of us have of going to the grocery store and knowing those stores are stocked and knowing what is essential is made available in real time. When this pandemic began to take shape, all of us were struggling to respond to a little bit of binge buying, particularly toilet paper and certain types of breads and meats. That raised some supply chain concerns, some logistic warehousing concerns, not just concerns from grocery workers themselves. We reached out to the California Grocers Association. We talked about what their needs were. We reached out to the union to talk about what their needs were. And they collectively have worked out a framework to agree to a framework to support supplemental paid sick leave and also to address these sanitation issues.